Imagine this: a birthday party turned deadly, a diss track linked to a murder, and rappers Young and Ace at the center of it all. The feds say it wasn't just music, it was a blueprint for violence. From secret payments to hitmen, leaked Instagram posts, and shocking family ties, this case reveals a web of betrayal, revenge, and street politics in Jacksonville that you won't believe. Stay tuned, because what really happened the night Julio Fulio died is more twisted than anyone expected. Jacksonville Beach police arrested rappers Young and Ace around midnight. After that, things seemed calm, just a quick trip to the bank, some photos, and then back to business. But behind the scenes, the feds had just shared new evidence that led to their arrest. The case surrounding Young and Ace is deeply connected to the tragic events in the Julio Fulio trial. Prosecutors presented key evidence linking the rappers to the incident, including their music video for the song Game Over. The track is a diss song directly aimed at Julio, and it became a central piece in the investigation. Authorities argued that the video wasn't just music. The kit reflected the tension and real-life feuds between the rival groups in Jacksonville, which ultimately contributed to the violence. Adding more weight to the case, a witness came forward who had been at a party with Julio the night he died. She revealed an important detail: she had previously dated Young and Ace's brother, Trayvon Bullard. This connection wasn't trivial. Law enforcement considered it a direct link that tied Young and Ace closer to the events surrounding Julio's death. It suggested not only proximity but also a network of relationships that may have influenced planning and retaliation. The witness's testimony provided a critical perspective on the rivalries between the groups in Jacksonville. Young and Ace were part of ATK while Julio was associated with another crew. Tensions between these groups had been building for years, and the evidence showed how musical expression, personal relationships, and street politics were intersecting in dangerous ways. The party itself, where the witness was present, became a focal point for understanding the sequence of events leading up to the tragedy. For investigators, this wasn't just about a single incident, it was about a pattern. The diss track, the witness's account, and the connections between the parties painted a picture of premeditation and influence. Music and social media played a role in how the feuds escalated, as the public nature of the diss tracks and online posts amplified tensions between rival crews. Young and Ace's actions, from the video to their association with Trayvon Bullard, suggested they were more than bystanders, they were part of the dynamics that made the confrontation possible. This combination of evidence helped prosecutors build a narrative that went beyond simple rivalry or music drama. It illustrated a complex web of influence, retaliation, and personal connections, showing how creative expression in the form of diss tracks can sometimes intersect dangerously with real-world conflicts. As the trial unfolded, the focus remained on how these relationships and choices contributed to the events that ultimately led to Julio Fulio's death, with Young and Ace at the center of the investigation. During the trial, a key witness provided critical information that helped shape the investigation into the death of Julio Fulio. She confirmed that she had dated Trayvon Bullard in 2018, a detail that at first seemed personal but soon took on major legal significance. Tragically, Trayvon passed away on June 5, 2018, and his death became a focal point for prosecutors trying to uncover connections between various parties in the case. The witness's testimony suggested that Young and Ace, Trayvon's brothers, could have been indirectly or directly involved in the events surrounding that night. While the full extent of their involvement was still being debated, the prosecutors hinted at possible criminal liability, raising questions about whether the brothers played a role in the broader chain of events that led to Julio Fulio's death. Fans and observers, closely following the trial, speculated that this line of testimony could eventually lead to a RICO case. A RICO racketeer influenced and corrupt organizations case would indicate that authorities were investigating Young and Ace not just for a single act but for being part of an organized criminal enterprise. The connections between family members, rival crews, and social conflicts painted a picture of a network that extended beyond one night, making the case far more complex than a typical criminal trial. Further details revealed that Young and Ace are members of a group called ATK, which stands for Ace Top Getters. The group has a long-standing rivalry with 6 Block, the crew that Charles Jones belongs to. The feud between ATK and 6 Block was a central theme throughout the trial, as prosecutors argued that ongoing conflicts between the crews played a role in the violence. This context helped the jury understand how personal relationships and group affiliations could escalate disputes into serious criminal acts. It also became clear that not everyone mentioned in the trial was tied to these groups. Alicia Andrews, another figure involved in the proceedings, was confirmed to have no affiliation with either ATK or 6 Block. Her presence in the trial was therefore unrelated to the gang rivalry, but it highlighted the broader scope of the investigation and the complex web of relationships involved. Overall, the witness's testimony regarding her past relationship with Trayvon Bullard, combined with the rivalries between ATK and 6 Block, framed a narrative in which Yungeen Ace's potential involvement was scrutinized closely. It demonstrated how personal connections, family ties, and street alliances could all intersect to influence major criminal investigations, providing a foundation for potential RICO charges and emphasizing the seriousness of the case. Drill rap videos were also part of the discussion, including a song by Charles Jones called When I See You, which the witness said she didn't like. Social media quickly picked up on the case, with viral tweets saying things like, "This Julio Fulio trial is wild. The feds are watching. Whoever Yungeen Ace is, they drafting up the RICO." Because of all this, Yungeen Ace canceled all their tour dates for the month. It seems the authorities are trying to limit their earning power and halt their rise in fame. In interviews, Yungeen Ace expressed frustration, saying police even canceled shows in cities where he doesn't live, like Tampa, Virginia, Gainesville, and Daytona, asking, "Why y'all trying to cancel my money?" The legal issues stem from evidence in the Julio Fulio case, including a meme Yungeen Ace allegedly sent to someone charged in Fulio's death. The state also presented a photo from a suspect's phone showing a bottle of Don Julio the day after the incident, interpreted as an insult to Fulio. Jacksonville police didn't keep quiet, they even called a press conference to make their position public, putting Yungeen Ace directly in the spotlight. Investigators discovered that the prop-it shooters were connected to rival groups in Jacksonville, including ATK and 1200. Charles Jones, the target, was part of 6 Block. Detectives believe ATK and 1200 teamed up as part of an ongoing feud aimed at Jones. Feeling the heat from law enforcement, Yungeen Ace decided to shut down ATK entirely. On Twitter, he announced, "Ain't no such thing as a TK no more. That stuff is gone and over with," and later posted an Instagram video confirming he was done with the group. In his own words, he emphasized leaving the drama behind and stepping away from anything that could get him in trouble. It's clear, Ace feared legal consequences from being associated with ATK, but his caution might have come too late. Just a month after Julio Fulio's death, Ace did an interview with DJ Academics, where he laughed when asked if he had anything to do with Fulio's passing. Many felt this only made him look more suspicious. In the interview, he insisted he wasn't involved, explaining he was just focused on his family and building his career, but public perception didn't fully buy it. Ace was already considered a prime suspect in Fulio's death, and this interview only fueled speculation. Soon after, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office issued a public safety alert for Yungeen Ace and their crew, following the arrests of Fulio's alleged attackers. Authorities emphasized that these groups are closely monitored, and while the police wouldn't comment on ongoing investigations, Yungeen Ace couldn't move around the city without law enforcement knowing. It also came out that Yungeen Ace were reportedly told what Fulio said in his final moments by one of the people present at the scene. To fully understand the situation, police documents show that the weekend of Fulio's death was originally planned as a birthday celebration for the rapper. The level of detail in the police report reveals just how intense and tragic the events were. Things quickly took a turn for the worse for Fulio, and social media played a big role. It all started when he and his crew rented an Airbnb for the weekend. As soon as they arrived, Julio posted on Instagram inviting everyone to his pool party. "Hey, the pool party starts at 5:30, he wrote. "If you need the address, DM me. Pull up, man. We just got here." From the start, publicly sharing the location was risky, but the party kicked off, and for about 2 hours, everything seemed normal until neighbors called the police and shut it down. Undeterred, Julio wanted the celebration to continue, so they moved to a local club. Again, Julio posted updates on Instagram, giving away the club's location in real. "We came deep for my birthday. Man," he posted. "Everybody come out. We deep, 20 lit everywhere we go." For a rapper, this was a major security mistake. Sharing exact locations publicly is dangerous. But Julio seemed confident for reasons that aren't clear yet. Unfortunately, his posts quickly caught the attention of his enemies. 5 people who were his rivals created a group chat to discuss what to do with the information. According to a street source, Yungeen Ace allegedly put up $10,000 on Julio Fulio's head, further motivating the attack. One of the attackers later admitted, "I'm the one who smacked Julio Fulio that night at his birthday. I won't show my face or give my name, but I did it. There was money on his head. I roll with Ace and the ATK crew. Ace put up the 10K and told me to slide because he was tired of all the talking. What had to be done? Had to be done." This account reveals the tragic chain of events: a public social media post, a birthday celebration, and a deadly plot allegedly funded and encouraged by rival rappers. After Julio Fulio finished celebrating at the club, he and his team needed a place to stay for the night. His manager booked a nearby Holiday Inn, and they started heading over unaware that 2 suspects were waiting outside, watching their every move. The attackers followed them to the hotel. Once Julio's manager was inside arranging rooms, 2 cars full of team members arrived. One car pulled up to the hotel's main entrance while 3 men snuck in from the side parking lot on foot. At 4:38 a.m., 3 of them exited the vehicle and moved toward the hotel, ready to carry out their plan. Shots were fired, killing Charles Jones and injuring 3 others, who miraculously survived. Video evidence shows the shooters positioning themselves outside the hotel, executing a premeditated attack. During the Alicia Andrews trial, Fulio's cousin testified tearfully about what he witnessed. He described seeing Fulio laid out in the car, initially thinking it was a car accident, until he realized the extent of the violence. He also saw Xavier Edwards wounded and recognized Charles Jones, Black Charger, among the chaos. The emotional testimony highlighted the devastating consequences of street rivalries. It seemed ATK had planned for this. On the same day as the attack, Yungeen Ace released a diss track aimed at Julio. They even remixed lines from Julio's song When I See You, making it clear the song was a direct response. Social media posts from those close to Yungeen Ace, including an old King Von tweet reading, "Game over, we won, stupid," further tied the track to the attack. Shockingly, even Yungeen Ace's mother participated in the online mocking, joking about Julio during Ace's Instagram Live. The harassment extended beyond Julio himself. His mother reported being targeted 8 times, allegedly by Yungeen Ace. Police even contacted Ace regarding violations related to this, which could have resulted in serious legal consequences. Despite all of this, Julio seemed confident in sharing his location online. He had previously stated in an interview that he believed his relationship with his rivals was improving, which may have given him a false sense of security. Unfortunately, that assumption would prove to be deadly. Julio Fulio had even talked to some members of ATK about making a Stop the Violence song. In interviews, he mentioned plans with his cousin and Jay Breeze to drop a record encouraging peace among rival crews and inspiring the youth. "We just need to make this better, man," he said, explaining they were trying to find the right beat and get the project going. But according to police files, this wasn't the whole truth. ATK members had no real interest in peace. They used the promise of the song to make Julio let his guard down. That explains why he posted so many Instagram stories revealing his location. The real motive was retaliation for a TK Mitch. Back in April 2022, Julio had been stopped and questioned by officers regarding Mitch's passing, as authorities believed he might have been involved. Detectives tried to get information from him, asking about his relationship with Mitch, where he was when Mitch passed, and who he was connected to, but Julio stayed quiet, refusing to give any details. Even when pressured in interviews and interrogations, Julio insisted he didn't know who was behind Mitch's death. "I don't know," he told them repeatedly. "You'll never know. I just heard they say little brother, that's all." The detectives even tried to make him feel guilty, suggesting that his music was somehow responsible for the violence surrounding him, but Julio refused to take the bait. Despite the threats, investigations, and pressure, Julio continued to stay understanding that giving information could only make things worse. His silence, unfortunately, didn't prevent the dangerous events that would follow. When asked if his music or behavior had anything to do with the violence, Julio Fulio denied it. "No," he said, "even before I was rapping, this stuff existed. You can't just say it's my music that caused something." He also didn't believe it triggered anyone or influenced people to act. Ultimately, the police released him after they couldn't connect him to the crime. Meanwhile, Yungeen Ace continued mocking Julio on Instagram Live. Though they tried to sound like they were saying nice things, it was clear their comments weren't genuine. Julio tried to reason with them in the past, telling them to stop the back and forth and leave the streets alone, but the feuds persisted. Police later released evidence suggesting that Yungeen Ace were the masterminds behind the attack. They allegedly hired Alicia, Isaiah, Sean, Rashad, and Davon to carry it out. DJ Academics had predicted this would happen, even warning Yungeen Ace that he could be next. Whack 100 also publicly commented, saying, "You're next," which added to the tension. Yungeen Ace claimed they weren't taking it personally. They were just aware of the high-profile nature of these conflicts and trying to protect themselves. Even after Julio's death, the feud wasn't over. Julio's team had previously targeted Ace in an older incident that ended with Ace's brother dead and Ace hospitalized. Violence had been ongoing in Jacksonville for years, with authorities placing some blame on drill rap music, which they argued fuels crime and retaliation because it gives rappers real-life material to rap about. Drill rap, once associated mostly with Chicago, had taken root in Jacksonville. Local artists would even sample popular songs like Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles to create tracks that called out specific people in the city. While some dismissed it as nonsense, it had real consequences. People with families were being affected, and rivalries weren't just music, they were real life.